Alex had always been the type to believe in forgiveness over revenge. Growing up in New York City, surrounded by a sea of skyscrapers and bustling streets, Alex learned early on that life was too short to harbor grudges. But then came Samir. Samir was a few years younger than Alex, with slicked back hair and a charming smile. They met when they both worked at the same marketing firm in Manhattan. At first, everyone thought it would be a match made in heaven, two ambitious young professionals on their way up. But as time went by, it became clear that Samir was not what he seemed. Samir had a knack for making others feel small and insignificant. He'd whisper snide comments behind people's backs, slowly eroding their confidence until they were nothing more than shadows of themselves in his presence. Alex tried to stay out of the fray, focusing on work and personal projects outside the office. But Samir wouldn't let it go. One day, he walked into Alex's cubicle with a smirk on his face. "Hey Alex," he said, "I heard you've been trying to land that big client for weeks now. Bet they'll choose someone else at this point." Alex was taken aback. They had worked tirelessly to impress the potential client and were optimistic about closing the deal. But Samir's words stung like a slap in the face. "Why would you say something like that?" Alex asked, trying to keep their composure. Samir leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "I'm just being realistic. You've got competition, and your presentation wasn't exactly stellar." Alex felt their blood boil but forced themselves to take a deep breath before responding calmly. "Thanks for the advice, Samir. Maybe you should stick to what you're good at, spreading rumors instead of working hard." The tension between them grew thicker than ever after that exchange. Alex tried to avoid Samir as much as possible, but he seemed to pop up everywhere. In meetings, at lunch, even in shared coffee runs. His presence became a constant reminder of his cruelty and the way he'd managed to make others doubt themselves. One day, during a team meeting, it all came to a head. Alex had prepared extensively for this presentation on an upcoming campaign, pouring their heart into every detail and strategy. Samir sat in the back row, arms crossed, eyes glued to something else entirely, probably his phone. As Alex started speaking, they could feel eyes on them. Every sentence felt like a battle, each slide like a hurdle. When it was over, there was an awkward silence before someone spoke up about another idea that had been discussed earlier in the week. The meeting ended abruptly with no decision made. Later that day, Samir approached Alex with a fake smile plastered on his face. "Great job today," he said sarcastically. "Hope your ideas were worth all that effort." Alex felt a wave of anger and frustration. They knew then that this wasn't just about competition or office politics. It was personal, and Samir wanted to tear them down. "I'm not going to let you do this anymore, Samir," Alex said firmly, but quietly so only he could hear. "I won't let you ruin my life." Samir's eyes narrowed dangerously as if daring Alex to make a move against him. But for the first time since meeting him, there was resolve in Alex's heart. From that day forward, things changed drastically. Samir continued his sabotage tactics, but found himself increasingly isolated by their coworkers who began seeing through his manipulative facade. Meanwhile, Alex started channeling their energy into proving themselves not just to others, but also to themselves. They worked harder than ever before, staying late nights and waking up early to study market trends and client preferences. But no matter how hard Alex tried or how well they performed, it seemed like Samir always managed to find a way to bring them down again, whether by spreading false information behind their back or undermining their successes publicly. It was frustrating because every time Alex thought they had turned a corner and moved past the hurt, another insult would come out of nowhere. Despite this constant challenge, something inside Alex shifted. The desire for revenge grew stronger day by day, as did the belief that Samir needed to face consequences for his actions. Alex started planning ways to expose him not just within their company, but also on social media platforms where others could see and judge him accordingly. One evening, during an after-work gathering at a nearby bar, Alex saw Samir whispering closely with another colleague who had recently been passed over for promotion. Curiosity got the better of them, prompting some probing questions which led to more disturbing discoveries about how far Samir's scheming went. He wasn't just targeting Alex. He was trying to sabotage everyone around him in pursuit of his own ambitions. This realization fueled a new determination within Alex. They began gathering evidence meticulously. Emails showing favoritism and manipulation, recordings of conversations proving unethical practices, testimonials from other employees corroborating experiences similar to their own under Samir's reign. As the weeks turned into months, Alex continued working on this project in secret, keeping it separate from work life so as not to alert anyone until they had enough proof. Every day brought new frustrations with dealing directly against Samir, but also small victories where others started recognizing his harmful influence and distancing themselves accordingly. Finally came the moment Alex had been waiting for, a chance to present all this information during a high-profile board meeting about company ethics. With trembling hands, Alex approached the microphone once everyone was gathered around the conference table. The room fell silent as they began laying out each piece of evidence, revealing how Samir's actions had affected not only themselves but also other employees. It wasn't easy. There were moments when nerves threatened to take over and make them falter in their delivery. But remembering everything that led up to this point, every insult, every setback, gave Alex the strength needed to push through. Each revelation was like a brick being piled onto Samir's tower of lies, until finally it crumbled around him. The board members were shocked by what they heard. Samir tried defending himself initially, but his arguments fell flat against concrete proof and testimonies from multiple employees who had fallen victim to similar treatment. In the end, Alex succeeded in exposing Samir's deceitful nature completely. The aftermath saw several changes within the company as policies were revised to prevent future instances of such misconduct from occurring again. For Alex personally, though, there was a sense of liberation knowing they could finally move forward without looking back at past injustices caused by one person's toxic behavior. It took time for wounds to heal and trust among colleagues to be rebuilt, but eventually normalcy returned, albeit with newfound awareness about maintaining integrity in professional settings moving ahead. As for Samir, well, let's just say he found himself out of a job sooner rather than later, thanks largely due to Alex's efforts. In the years since that pivotal moment, life has changed dramatically for Alex. They've risen higher within their career path, gained recognition beyond just one firm, and most importantly learned valuable lessons about resilience in face adversity. While forgiveness remains an important value close to heart, there's also understanding now about why sometimes taking a stand against injustices is necessary when all else fails. And though the road ahead promises new challenges and uncertainties still lie ahead, Alex walks forward with confidence, knowing whatever comes next can be faced head-on without fear or hesitation. A far cry from days filled only by resentment towards someone who once tried pulling them down.